Stop! You're not getting anywhere with this, von Borchert.
You know, I kind of get the same feeling, my dear Sarah. Listen. Nothing. Not a sound. No one's coming to save you.
That's what you think. The Golden Order knows exactly where we are.
By the time your ridiculous secret society turns up, I'll be long gone. As for you, nothing will remain of your body.
If you touch a single hair on my mother's head, I'll skin you alive.
You know, Louis, I have no intention of beating your dear mother. There are more persuasive ways of making you talk. You've stolen something from me that I intend to get back. Where have you hidden it?
Von Borchert, you can't sell that book on the black market anymore. This is finished.
We know you're planning on selling at one of Lord Mortimer's parties. All right? Just tell us who the buyer is and we can make a deal.
You've no idea of the trouble you've gotten yourselves into. Oh, but you will tell me where it's hidden. I can promise you that.
Stop annoying our host, Louis. Son, didn't what happened to you in Rome teach you anything?
Just a few more minutes and my concoction will be ready. With this, your bodies will dissolve in less than 4 hours. You'll see. It loosens tongues in no time.
You know, I have to admit, Mother, the only thing you've ever taught me is that damn motto of yours. Always remain rational. And open. I got it. I've opened our shackles.
Draw him over here. I'll take care of him.
Von Borchert! Von Borchert! Listen. Let's make a deal. I'll tell you where the book is if you let my mother go free.
Oh, what are you playing at?
Don't worry, Mother.
You want to play the hero. Pity you're not in any position to do so. For the last time. Where is Al-Azif?
Let me do this. Trust me.
Please, be my guest, Mother.
Well done, Louis. You reacted perfectly.
How do you feel, Mother?
Couldn't be better. He's alive, so I can question him after we get back. Pity he's just a middleman. Means I haven't finished with this case.
Oh, I had a feeling you'd be running off on one of your adventures again, Mother. You know what? I'm warning you. This time, I'm coming with you.
No, even though you impress me more and more, I have to do this on my own.
Mother, you're no spring chicken anymore.
Come on, let's go home. And don't forget to send our men to tend to von Borchert.
Well done, Mother. You just had to pick up Von Burchard's trail on your own, didn't you? You ditch me in Paris with no explanation, and off you go to infiltrate one of the world-renowned receptions of this Lord Mortimer? And now he writes me to say that you've gone missing on his private island? Which, by the way, looks more like a big rock than a paradise island.
The least he could do is explain to me how he managed to lose you. In any case, it is time for you to stop all this, Mother. It no longer suits your age. Well, I'm sure I'll find you once again, slogging through the caves beneath the island, searching for some long-lost mystical object that you just can't live without. I'm already hating this trip, and all I've done is think
Contrary
about
to
it.
what one may be able to imagine, it was not the host himself who invited me.
Well now, Duchess, we find ourselves both invited by Sir Holm.
Well, how very amusing. Perhaps we have some common interests, Your Eminence. Is this your first time at one of Lord Mortimer's legendary parties?
Oh no, we have been friends since long ago. But as I'm doing some business with Sir Holm, the invitation came from him.
Well, I simply can't wait for all the festivities to begin.
And you, good sir, what brings you here?
Lord Mortimer asked me to join him. We have some business to take care of.
Oh, how mysterious. You adapt quickly, my son. You get along here like a fish in water. Would you believe that we are all here hoping to solve our personal issues? You'll see.
Right. I doubt that you came here to look for your mother, Your Eminence.
Anyway, consider yourself fortunate, young man, because there are many who dream of simply one day setting foot on this island, and only a very few ever make it. Indeed, I imagine this must be your first time here.
That's right. Until now, I've never been invited by Lord Mortimer.
You'll see. You won't soon forget it.
Given what I've seen so far, I wish I'd been passed over.
Come, Duchess. They are waiting for us.
We're moving, Monsieur de Richet, if you would like to join us.
I'm coming, Duchess. A cardinal? A duchess? I wonder if all the guests here are this prestigious. If I'd known, I would have gone for a better suit.
Are you all right?
Mother? Oh shit, your hand!
So,
Okay, it's done.
did you put it in a safe place?
Yes. I made sure no one was following me. Don't worry, Sarah, no one's going to find it.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Right. Just one thing left to do.
No, Mother, no, don't!
What? Have you lost your mind?
There's no other way.
If you kill me, you won't find it.
That is the point, my dear. No one must ever put their hands on it again.
No. But I trusted you.
No, Sarah, don't! No. No! You can run if you want to, Sarah, but you will pay for what you've done.
Hugh.
Louis, are you all right? What's going on? Here, take this.
I'm sorry.
Keep it. Are you better?
I'm fine. Don't worry. It's getting late. Why don't you go on ahead and I'll catch up with you, okay?
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm sure, yes.
Fine.
I definitely have to find Mother quickly.
Hello everyone. After that particularly long intro cutscene, we're going to get started. So today we're going to be doing something I'm quite excited to do. We're going to start our playthrough of the Council. If you don't know what the Council is, it's effectively think of it like a Telltale game, but your choices do actually have implications on your playthrough later in the game. There's a lot of things, to my understanding, that happen later in the game that are kind of set in stone by decisions you make earlier, so it's quite, dynamic in that way. Fair warning, I have played it once before, so I do know quite a bit about it. But, because your choices affect your gameplay so much, there's probably realistically, I only know like 30, 40, maybe 50% at most of what happens and what goes on. So, there's a lot that I'm yet to discover. With that being said, I will do my best to, as we play, I will, talk and act as if I've never played it before, so I won't be giving anything away until it's time. And let's get started. You'll notice as the game goes on that while it looks amazing, some of the lip syncing is, very clearly they just ran out of time and they couldn't go back over it. But I think the overall charm of the game makes up for it.
Louis, during the trip, I had something I wanted to ask you, but we didn't happen to run into each other.
Yes, Duchess?
I'm not sure if you remember, but we've met before. At that time, you were of two minds as to your choice of career. Tell me, what have you been up to since?
Okay, so you get to choose your class, which in this game, depending on what skills you have, it depends on what things you'll pick up in conversations. So what I like to have is a lot of vigilance, because it allows you to spot things you otherwise wouldn't. But during the early game, I think it's actually politics that, because depending on your skill, for example, politics, if you're not good at politics, when the other characters talk about politics, you won't be able to have any input. So I think a detective, from the skills here, the detective does sound the most interesting to me. But I'm going to be a diplomat. So the thing about this game is after each chapter or level, you get to put some points into your skills. So these are the diplomat skills, and these are the detective skills. So, so you can still, level into skills that aren't in your class. It's just more expensive, which I do think is a really nice way of working. I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to go for 1 in vigilance, because you only need 3 for that, so we'll actually get a benefit for having that. Let's go.
Well, I've devoted myself to the interests of France to the best of my abilities. A few years ago, I had a brush with some of your fellow countrymen.
Counter-revolutionaries, I'd imagine.
Exactly. They got away, thanks to a little diversion I came up with to keep the sans-culottes away. Believe me, they came close to adorning the walls of the catacombs of Paris.
So that young French diplomat was you? The mercy you showed the agents of the Queen roused the admiration of the court. Few would have let them leave France alive.
Duchess, I'm surprised that anyone still remembers.
Well, they say I have the memory of 2 people. But please, call me Emily.
Fine, Emily. Tell me, I was actually helped on that case by my mother. You wouldn't know her by any chance?
Wait, Louis. We've already met. You do remember me, don't you?
Please excuse me, madam. I'm sure we've met before, but I don't remember where.
I appreciate your honesty, even if it's not very flattering for me.
I imagine that with your beauty, madam, it's the first time a man hasn't remembered your face.
Well, I must say you make up for yourself rather elegantly.
Please stop torturing me. I'm completely at your mercy. Where have we met?
4 years ago, in London?
No. Sorry, I don't remember.
In the office of William Pitt. Remember? No?
I'm so sorry, Emily, but I really don't remember you.
Let's drop it, Louis. It doesn't matter. Right, time to go to the manor.
I ask her a question, she answers with another.
Is she playing with me?
Skills used against immunities will not succeed and leave you exhausted. Meanwhile, exploited vulnerable skills will give you 1 extra effort point.
Emily, please excuse my insisting, but you still haven't answered about my mother. Do you know her?
You'll see, Louis. Everybody here knows Sarah de Richet.
I don't know where we're going like this, Emily, but you're connected to my mother one way or another. And if I can believe my vision, you don't have much of a place in her heart.
Okay, so don't worry if you're a little bit confused by how the game works. It's actually really simple and you'll pick it up as we go. So, you know, one of the great things I love about this game is that every single character here has their own hidden story, hidden past, hidden motives, and you'll learn them as you go through the game, depending on who you want to take time to speak to.
Great. Honey. Must be an incredible view from up there. Impossible to set foot on the island without being seen.
It's also worth going around just looking around the place, because you'll find all of these hidden little like bottles and gems. A lot of the time you'll just find, you know, little bits of information to give you better insight to someone's motives, but you can also find little boosts and buffs. So we're going to come over here. Okay, there's no letters to look into, so let's have a look over here. So we got some royal jelly. So here are all the characters, most of which we haven't met, so we've only met these few at the moment. We can then look at our skills, the map, our inventory. So these are the 4 buffs you get. So royal jelly restores 2 effort points, which are down here on the left. You need those to use skills and conversations. You have a golden elixir, which cures negative effects. Devil's Fawn, which reveals immunities and vulnerabilities, which, you know, one of the things I love about this game is you can't use the same tactic over and over and over again in conversations, because different characters have different immunities and vulnerabilities. So the first time I played, I actually completely got floored by Napoleon, because his immunities were completely different to everyone else's when I played. And then, you know, but yeah, so let's get started.
Good evening, sir. May I ask your name, please?
Louis Moras de Richet.
Monsieur de Richet. Delighted to welcome you among us, sir. You must be Sarah de Richet's son. I must tell you we are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible.
What can you tell me about the disappearance of my mother?
2 weeks have passed since Sir's mother went missing. All the staff here have since been busy searching every nook and cranny of the island. But Sir may rest assured, we shouldn't be long in finding her.
And just what have you found so far?
It would seem that Sir's mother may be hiding on the island and regularly changing her location. But no one seems to know why she would find this behavior necessary.
What do you mean?
On several occasions, we have found leftovers of food, a few of her things, or even traces of campsites. The reason why we're searching the wharf again is because lights were spotted there last night.
Where we are now?
Indeed, sir. According to our information, lights were seen in the middle of the night, sir. After verification, none of the guests seem to have left the manor last night. We think that perhaps Sir's mother was here.
So as you can see, because we don't have the questioning skill, we can't actually ask him a question here. So instead,
did anyone see anything else?
Unfortunately not, sir. Only lights were seen by servants of the manor, sir. And as I was saying, sir, all the guests were asleep, and no one seems to have noticed anything at all. We seem to have found an object that would appear to belong to Sir's mother. A handkerchief. The handkerchief is embroidered with the initials S.D.R. We came to the conclusion that they are the initials of Sir's mother, Sarah de Richet. I have orders to give it to Lord Mortimer as soon as I see him.
I know my mother. She's not the kind to go for a midnight stroll on the wharf for nothing. I've got to find out what the hell she was doing here. Where exactly did you find the handkerchief?
On the landing dock, sir. The one you arrived by.
That handkerchief belongs to me. Please hand it over now.
But, sir,
I'll speak directly to your master about it. It will be a very long conversation.
Of course, sir. Please, take it. On that note, I must leave you, sir. There is still much to prepare in order to welcome all the guests.
It is indeed your handkerchief, Mother. You must have come here for a specific reason. I need to know what it is. Let's think. What could she have been doing out here on this wharf? There's no way I'm leaving without finding out about Mother.
Oh, alright, we need to look for some clues. Okay, got some royal jelly.
It's locked. I'll never get it open barehanded.
See, that's cool. See, if we had that skill, we could actually pick the lock and get through there. But we don't. What's this?
A wooden floorboard.
Sometimes what you'll find is you can spend all your skill points to look into something and then it doesn't actually provide any use. So what you'll find is just because something says, oh, you can spend 3 skill points to open this or look at this, it doesn't mean it'll necessarily give any information.
Judging by the splinters of the wood, this floorboard has been ripped up. Yet it was in decent condition. I wonder why someone ripped it up. What's the point of doing this? Probably comes from this part of the wharf. The wood is slightly eaten away, of course, but it's still... Hey, there's something not right about this floorboard. It's different from the rest.
That's really annoying because you can very clearly see there is something down there. Let's try and see if we can take the floorboard out.
Shit! It's not coming up. I'll never manage it barehanded. I need something to lever it with.
That's annoying. So you can already see where, because we're lacking certain skills and we don't have others, we can't get whatever it is that's down there, even though there is very clearly something down there. So maybe we'll find a tool later, maybe we won't.
Looks like the barrel's been broken for quite some time. I think this chest might belong to Duchess Hillsborough. Looks like a bar from an old gate. This miserable old bar has been broken fairly recently. The edges are still clean, and the tip is blackened. Without analysis to the contrary, I put my money on cannon powder.
I wonder if we could use it
This might
to
just come
apply
in
the
handy.
floorboards.
A sack of seeds. It's unopened. No one seems to have used any. Some rope. Apparently no one's touched it for a good long time. Let's see what's hidden inside.
See, we don't have any logic.
Let's look.
I will say now, yeah, if you haven't played this game, you're never going to have all of the skills. So just because it says you can't do something doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. You know, you're never going to have all of the skills. So, yeah, don't think you've skilled wrong if you don't have access to something. One of the great things about this game and what makes it so replayable is the fact that you'll never have access to everything. Right, so let's try this one.
A letter written in an Oriental language.
See, now because we became a diplomat, we do actually have linguistics and we can look at this.
This letter's in Japanese. It's addressed to a certain Kei Shotaro in Tokyo. The addressee's in Sao Paulo, Brazil. That reminds me, it's about time the Order sent some envoys there.
Okay, I don't think we're going to find anything too useful. So we're going to head up.
A lantern.
I think what I'll do is I'll make this episode longer than usual because it's the first episode since there was quite a. What I found in the is the first chapter is really, really, really good, and obviously because it's the introduction, because it's a mystery game, there is a lot that it has to show at you. So we can't get through that. So I'll probably make this episode a little bit longer. Where was that floorboard? Here we go.
That does it. Let's see what's hidden inside. There's a book and also a bag. The Mysterium Cosmographicum. I know that book well. Mother used to read passages from it to me all the time. And judging from what I can see, it's the same one as hers. For crying out loud, what's happened to you, Mother?
Manuscripts allow you to educate yourself during the adventure. At the start of each quest, you can choose what to read to gain a permanent skill points.
Let's look inside the bag. A little food, a few toiletries, a small key, and some kind of black powder. The bottom of the bag is covered in black powder. An iron key completely rusted. You never know. It might be useful. I hope Mother wasn't counting on it. Right. Just in case, I'll take it all. I'll give it back to Mother when I see her.
How did he just fit all of that in his back?
Crying out loud. Why did you hide supplies?
So this is
in the
actually really
middle
cool
of nowhere,
because
Mother?
in my first playthrough I never got that.
Here,
so already there's stuff that,
feel like you're in danger.
are going different.
How did Mortimer manage to build his manor at the top of a rocky outcrop? Impressive.
Ah, my son. I was looking for you.
What can I do for you, Your Eminence?
I wanted to ask you. You are the son of Sara de Riche, aren't you? You see, your mother and I were supposed to meet here on this very spot. I was supposed to hand her a very important envelope. But I haven't seen her.
If only Mother had told me why she was coming here. Anyway, I ought to take the envelope. It might have something to do with her disappearance. Listen, if it will help, you can always give it to me.
Thank you, my son. I'll bear that in mind. I'd rather deal with her directly. Don't take it personally. Would you happen to know if your mother has arrived yet?
Certainly, Your Eminence. Mother got here some time ago. I was hoping to find her when I arrived, but given the hour, she must be asleep by now.
Right. I shall see her tomorrow, then.
By the way, Your Eminence, I wasn't aware you knew my mother.
Ah, if you only knew, my son. I hold your mother in the highest regard. She has rendered great service to the church, and her help is invaluable. I hope that you will follow in her footsteps.
If only she had told me where she was headed.
Nonetheless, our exchanges have always been discreet, and I should like them to remain as such. If your mother wishes to speak to you about us one day, I will not mind if she does so.
That is very commendable. But since we work together on a daily basis, it's surely just an oversight.
Most certainly. You said you work together. What do you do exactly?
Will he believe that? Let's try it.
Mother passed her passion for art to me. Ancient art. Very ancient.
I didn't know your mother was an art lover.
Mainly pre-Christian objects which are believed to have unique properties.
Well, how interesting. Now that you mention it, I can indeed imagine Sarah getting interested in that.
All the same, it bothers me to see you in a quandary, Your Eminence. Is there any other solution? Look, if it's of any help, you can always leave your envelope with me and I'll give it to her as soon as I see her.
I hesitate. Up till now, we have always dealt with her in person, and that has always been successful. Do you think I should give it to you?
Looks like we're gonna have to go with this option. If we say this, then he'll realize we don't know where she is.
Don't worry, Your Eminence. Your secret is safe with me. You know my mother's reputation. As her son, I will defend the de Richet's word with the same fervor.
I would expect nothing less. Listen to me, my child. If I give you the letter, can you promise me before God that no one other than your mother would read it?
Yeah, sure.
I swear by the Almighty God to honor the promise that no one but my mother shall cast her gaze upon your letter.
Good. Listen, let's stop there. I'm going to tell you a secret, Monsieur de Richet. Your mother and I are organizing the escape of a large number of French priests who face a massacre organized by the accursed Republican tribunals. The church is literally being bled like a beast. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine. She has made the services of your order available to us by organizing the priests' safe passage across the borders. Even if she does not share all our convictions, she always provided assistance. Young man, you can be proud to be her son. Be it only for her sake. Always respect your name. Here, the letter I spoke of. It includes a list of about 15 names ready for departure. Be quick. Remember to tell Sarah when you see her that time is short.
Well played. I'll decide later when I'm alone whether to look at what it contains.
So as you can tell, this game, and as you'll see as the game progresses, this is based around the time of the French Revolution, which was obviously where, quite famously, the French people, due to starvation and just genuinely the country not being in a great state of affairs, they overthrew the monarchy and became a republic. And then soon after that, Napoleon came to power and crowned himself emperor. Louis himself and his mother, you've mentioned them talk about the Golden Order. Effectively, the Golden Order is a Illuminati / Freemasons type of secret society, of which Louis's mother is the head of, if not only the head of the French portion of that organization. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to straight up go talk to these guys.
I thought my chimney was big, but this one is beyond belief.
It's the least one can say. I've been longing for a warm fire for ages.
Since I set foot on the island, I haven't ventured more than 2 yards away from it.
Have you also just arrived?
Oh, late morning, I'd say.
Louis, come join us. Monsieur, may I introduce you to Monseigneur His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi? He joins us straight from Rome.
Oh, just call me Your Eminence. It's simpler.
George Washington, President of the United States of America.
Delighted at last to make your acquaintance, Mr. President.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. President. Louis Moras de Richet. It is an honor to meet you.
Young man, let's keep it simple, please. Let us forget our fancy titles. Nice to meet you, Louis.
I should imagine you never thought you'd be in such company.
I must admit that I didn't. It's the first time that I've ever met so many illustrious personalities.
And you haven't seen anything yet. Generally, when Lord Mortimer organizes one of his receptions, there are over a dozen people here.
They can't all be here yet, and you'll see, most of the time there's only the upper crust.
And I noticed you were already getting to know His Eminence at the entrance. It's the perfect place to build up a network. What were you talking about, if you'll forgive my indiscretion?
So we wouldn't want him to know because it's private. Main door. So we're going to talk about the main door, which I can't imagine is that interesting.
Believe me, she's not that special. His Eminence was asking me for my opinion about the style of the main door. I have to admit, this place certainly doesn't lack panache.
It's simply stupefying.
Oh, pity. No scrumptious gossip or juicy tidbits, unmentionable secrets, or even money matters. But you'll see, it will come. Despite all the goodwill in the world, you can't stop people scheming left and right around here.
Speak for yourself, sir.
That has to be the fakest laugh I've ever heard.
Well, my friends, do any of you know the reason why we're here this time?
Not in the slightest. As for me, I've been invited by Sir Holm, a close friend of Lord Mortimer, but I do not know the reason why.
You see, Louis, every time Lord Mortimer organizes a reception, he always finds a moment to set up a chat with all the guests.
During which time we remake the world.
Accompanied by gallons of absinthe and cussing. I'll leave you to imagine the result.
So, if I understand rightly, Monsieur de Richet, you've come out here to join your mother. For what reason, exactly?
Shit, would he know she's gone? I think it's pretty apparent that, at the very least, Emily will find out that she's... or Elizabeth, or whatever her name is. So we'll just say she's gone missing. Tell them the truth.
Lord Mortimer asked me to drop everything and come find my mother, who seems to have disappeared during her stay here.
Ah.
I took the first boat, and here I am.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be, sir. It's not your fault.
Seriously, though, I know your mother well. Stay behind with me afterwards, and we'll take a moment to speak about her.
Good Lord. Washington is wearing the emblem of the Grand Master of the Golden Order. It's the highest distinction of the order in the United States. It puts him on par with my mother. He must really know his stuff when it comes to the occult.
Good evening, my friends.
Holy shit. That's the man for my vision.
An urgent case has delayed our host, Lord Mortimer. He can't be present this evening, and he sends his deepest apologies.
He's asked me here and he hasn't even turned up? Great start. Do you know that man?
Sir Gregory Holm, an English aristocrat, very influential. He's also close to Lord Mortimer, so don't be surprised if he acts like he's at home.
And now, my dear guests, a light meal is served in the small salon. For those who would like to, you're invited to follow me into the next room.
My dear fellow, you must have read my thoughts. I shall follow.
We'll have to be careful not to make too much noise. One of Lord Mortimer's guests is relaxing.
Oh, we shall be quiet.
Don't take it the wrong way, Sir Holm, but I have already eaten. Thus, I shall be happy to remain by the fireside.
If you don't mind, Gregory, I should like to keep Mr. Washington company.
Please feel at home. And you, sir?
If I stay with Washington, we'll be able to speak about my mother. But on the other hand, I'd like to learn more about this Holm. I saw him in my vision.
So, yeah, as you saw, Washington is actually part of the same Golden Order that you're part of. So your mother is, I'm not quite sure, but she's definitely the leader of the French division of the First Order, and Holmes is the leader of the American division of the Golden Order. I don't know if the mum is the leader overall, but she's definitely the leader of the French part, and Washington's leader of the American part. So I think realistically, the more sensible thing to do is stay and talk to Washington. But I'm actually going to go talk to Holmes, because I have no idea what he's going to say. So, sorry, Washington. I'll catch up with you later.
My vision is more important. Let's follow home.
I'll follow you, sir. Mr. Washington, I hope to speak with you at greater length on another occasion. Emily, please excuse me, but I would like to speak to Sir